It's 1:45 in the morning. A guy is driving home to Rhode Island after a 4th of July weekend at a buddy's cabin in Voluntown, Connecticut. He's about 200 yards down a dark dirt road, woods on both sides, nothing but headlights and silence. Then something jumps out of the tree line right in front of his car. He slams the brakes, and what he says he saw wasn't a deer, wasn't a bear. It was 8, maybe 8.5 feet tall, walking on 2 legs. Covered head to toe in coarse, matted, greasy brown hair. He said the top of its head coned up slightly. And I'm quoting the witness here. It had a jawline any pugilist would kill for. That's not something you forget, and it's not something the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization forgot either, because they just classified this sighting as Class A, their highest level of credibility. So today we're going to Connecticut, then we're going to Ohio, and then we're going somewhere a lot stranger. Somewhere that involves special forces, a cave in Afghanistan, and a word most people only know from Sunday school, Nephilim. Let's get into it. Puchog State Forest, Voluntown, Connecticut, Connecticut's largest state forest. The sighting happened on July 5th at 1:45 in the morning. The witness was leaving a cabin, driving roughly 200 yards when the creature crossed the road. BFRO investigator Matt Moneymaker went on the record about it. He said the witness is credible, that he's not lying about what he saw, and that he could tell from the conversation. BFRO's theory on why it was there that night comes down to fireworks. To a Sasquatch, they said, that sounds like gunfire. And gunfire in the woods often means a downed deer and a gut pile left behind. In other words, it may have come looking for a free meal. Local residents are split right down the middle. One guy says he's heard branches snap in the distance for years and always wondered. Another guy laughs it off, calling it probably just a guy in a costume. BFRO has 22 sightings on record for Connecticut, 11 of them in Litchfield County. The last one in this specific area was back in 2019. Now look, I'm not here to tell you a Sasquatch is living in the Connecticut woods. But I want you to notice something. This isn't some guy on a forum with a blurry photo. This is a national research organization with a track record, putting their name and their highest credibility rating on a report. That's worth paying attention to. It's not just Connecticut. Earlier this year, Ohio had its own flap. A sudden cluster of sightings near Mantua and Garrettsville. 6 separate reports in 4 days, all logged by the Bigfoot Society podcast. Descriptions range from a 9-foot brown figure to an 8-foot black figure, accompanied by a heavy, musky odor, plus footprints and deep guttural grunts. One researcher's theory is that a seasonal weather shift pushed a group of them on the move. A folklorist offered the skeptic's counterpoint that whether these creatures exist is a genuinely fascinating cultural question, but belief and evidence are 2 different things. 2 separate states, 2 separate years, same pattern, a sudden cluster of sightings, then it just stops. If it's nothing, why does it keep happening in bursts like this? Now here's where I want to take you somewhere most Bigfoot content never goes. There's a story that circulated for years among veterans, paranormal researchers, and prophecy circles, the giants of Kandahar. The claim is that NATO and U.S. servicemen in Afghanistan encountered 8 to 12-foot tall, red-haired, cave-dwelling humanoids near Kandahar, described as incredibly strong, sometimes said to absorb dozens of rounds before going down. One version of the story says a special ops team went to find a missing squad, found a cave littered with broken gear, and a red-headed giant emerged and attacked, reportedly taking 30 seconds of continuous fire to put down. The label some troops and researchers reportedly attached to these creatures was Nephilim. I want to be straight with you because that's what this channel is about. I have not been able to verify an actual military document, training manual, or official record that calls these things Nephilim. What I found is a legend, a well-traveled one, told by veterans and popularized by researchers and radio hosts. But a legend, not a declassified file. I'm not going to dress that up as something it's not. But legends like this don't come from nowhere, and the fact that it keeps surfacing from multiple people independently over years, that's still worth talking about. So where does the word Nephilim actually come from? In Genesis, the sons of God and daughters of men produce giant offspring. In the book of Numbers, Israelite spies scouting Canaan report seeing Nephilim, saying they seemed like grasshoppers in their own eyes. In Deuteronomy, Og, king of Bashan, is described as the last of the Rephaites, with an oversized iron bed. Across multiple books of the Hebrew Bible, giants in the land isn't a one-off image, it's a recurring theme. Modern giant hunters and researchers have taken that ancient framework and layered it onto modern reports. Bigfoot, the Kandahar giants, even some UFO and UAP encounter theories. So when somebody says that thing in the woods is a Nephilim, they're not making up a new word. They're reaching for the oldest word humans have ever had for a giant that shouldn't exist but does. Now here's something that adds weight to all of this. On August 7th, the Department of War released its 5th batch of declassified UFO and UAP files, 41 documents, images, and videos dating from 1950 to this year, sourced from the Pentagon, FBI, CIA, State Department, and the Executive Office of the President. Included in that release, a military pilot's account of a massive triangle blocking out the stars over Afghanistan in 2002. FBI rendered thermal video of two black-hot, slow-moving objects over a mountain range. And a civilian witness reporting 3 separate sightings in one 5-hour window in the western United States with lights that synced up and moved together before one dropped rapidly and vanished. This is part of a larger unsealing effort. Over 450 official UAP reports released since Trump ordered it back in May. So think about where we are. The federal government just admitted, officially, in writing, that it's been sitting on hundreds of pages of unexplained aerial encounters since the 1950s. If that's been happening in the sky the whole time, how confident are you that nothing's been happening on the ground? Maybe it's all coincidence. Maybe it's all campfire stories that got out of hand. Or maybe some of the oldest stories we have are old for a reason. Drop your theory in the comments. Have you ever seen or heard something in the woods you couldn't explain? I want to hear it. That's trending headline therapy. I'll see you in the next one.